Hi friends. So today we will have a discussion about the topic named as tokens in C programming. So before moving on to our session, we will have a real life example to show how a token works in a real world program. So in my hand you can see different basic parts of a pen. So these are the basic building blocks that is used to create or used to form the structure of a pen. You can see this. So these are the basic building blocks. I have to meaningfully connect these basic building blocks in order to form a pen. Okay, so if I am connecting these building blocks in this manner, see this. If I am connecting in this manner, I'm connecting these basic blocks of a pen in this manner. So can you treat this as a pen? Definitely no. So this will definitely not form the structure of a pen. So we have to connect these basic building blocks in a meaningful manner. So I'm just connecting these building blocks in a meaningful manner. See this, I'm connecting this. Okay. Now we can say that this is a pen, because I have connected the basic building blocks that is used to create a pen in a logically connected and also in a meaningful manner. So I have formed a correct structure of a pen. In the similar manner, treat the tokens as a basic building block of a C program. We have to logically connect it in a meaningful manner in order to form an efficient and a useful program. Okay, so we can move on to our slides to know more about tokens. So before moving on to the concept, let's have another real life example. See this, you can see a house there, right? And in the other section you can see bricks, cement, soil, rooftop tiles, then iron and steels, etc. And these bricks, cement, soil can be considered as the things that we will use in the initial stages of our constructions, or we can say the basic building blocks of a house, right? So these things is being coordinated in a logically connected and meaningful manner to form this particular house. So this is the final structures, and with the connection of these individual units we are making this house. Okay, so these items can be treated as a basic building blocks of a house. In the similar manner you can treat the house as a program. So before moving on to the huge program, we can see a lot of basic structures or basic units of a program. That basic units is called as tokens. So this is an explanation of tokens. We already told a lot, that is, it is the smallest individual unit of a program. It is used in the initial stages of a program, and these units will be coordinated and work together to form an efficient program. Okay, so they are considered as a basic unit of a C program. Then tokens in C language can be divided into 6. That is keywords, identifiers, constants, strings, special symbols, and operators. We can move on to these separate topics. Okay, first of all we'll look towards the keywords. What do you mean by keywords? Keywords are the reserved words. So what do you mean by reserved words? Reserved words will have a predefined meaning. The meaning of that particular word is already be defined. So a programmer need not have to define it. It has already defined. So it has its own functionalities. The keywords have its own functionalities, and it cannot be used as the variable names. If you use it as a variable name, then it will be an error in the program. C language support almost 32 keywords, and these are the 32 important keywords used in the C. So tailor in mind, keywords is called as the reserved words. Then we will move on to the next token, that is identifiers. See, my name is Ashish. If somebody call Ashish, then I will move my head towards him or her. Why? Because Ashish is the name used to identify me. If I am in a crowd, in that particular crowd there will be a lot of Ashish. So how we can recognize a particular person? There comes the importance of the roll number, right? If a teacher is taking a class, and if she is taking attendance, if she say roll number 1, then one student will be present. Roll number 2, another guy will be present. So these roll numbers or the names of us can be treated as identifiers. So identifiers are the user defined words. It refers to the names of variables, functions, and arrays. Okay, it is used to identify this particular things used in our program. Particular things in the sense variables, functions, or arrays. Since we are creating a program, so the identifier can be user defined. Then there are certain rules for naming these identifiers. The first one is it should not be a keyword, as we already discussed that if we use a keyword as an identifier, then an error will be raising out by the compiler. The second rule is first character should be an alphabet. The first character of an identifier should be an alphabet or underscore, and then it can be followed by the characters, digits, underscore, etc. So that is the second rule. And the third rule is it must not contain the white spaces. If we are coordinating or if we are tailoring a few words as an identifier, then there is no space in between these words. So it must not contain the white spaces, and it should be up to 31 characters long. Only the first 31 characters will be significant one. So these are some rules related to the identifiers. If you are not following these rules, then definitely an error will be rising out. That's why we have to follow these rules. Okay. Then the next one is constants. As its name refers, it is referred to as a fixed value. It will not change during the execution of a program. See, 10 is a constant, 20.5 is a constant, and good morning can be said as a constant. Okay, so they are also called as literals. So we need to identify the types of constants. The constants can be generally classified into two, that is, one is numeric constant and the next one is character constants. And again it can be divided into two. Numeric constant can be divided into two important sections, that is integer constants and real constant, and the character constant can be divided into two, that is string and single character. So in this slide you can see, or you will get an idea about the three topics that, or three tokens that we have discussed, that is keywords, identifiers, and constants. Actually in these statements I am declaring a variable named as a user defined variable named as a, and I'm moving a value 10, that is a constant 10, into the particular variable, and I'm declaring this particular variable in the data type named as integer. So here we can see the three tokens, that is int. Int stands for integer, so int is considered as a keyword. Its meaning is been already defined, it's a data type. And here I am using a user defined variable, that is a, and it is treated as an identifier. Okay, I am using this identifier in order to accept the input from the users. Okay, so a is considered as a variable name and it can be treated as an identifier. Then this 10 is called as a constant. So in this statement, the initialization, declaration with initialization is being performed. I have declared a variable named as a and have initially passed a value 10 into it. So here you can see keywords, identifiers, and constants. Okay. Then more about constants, we can discuss that there are two sections, that is integer constants and real constant, the numeric section. Integer constants is it is referring to as a sequence of digits. Okay, there are three different types of integer constant, that is decimal integer, octal integer, and hexadecimal integer. Decimal integer, the base value will be 10. In the case of octal, the base value will be 8, and in the case of hexadecimal, the base value will be 16. Okay, so you can see the examples here. This is an example of the decimal integer constant. Here comes octal constants, and also here comes a hexadecimal constant. These are the it consists of the hexadecimal values. Okay, then the next category is a real or floating point constants, because this constant consists of the decimal points or the fractional part 2. That is, floating point constants are numeric constant that contain a decimal point. See this example, 17.52. We are including the fractional part 2, right? 20.5 or 3.75, etc. can be considered as a real or the floating point constant. So this comes under the numeric constant category. The next one is a character constant and also the string constants. A character constant can be considered as a single character that is enclosed within a single quotes. Here are the examples. See this. It is being placed inside a single quotes, and in the case of string constants, it will be placed in the double quotes. See this Java, hi, etc. have been placed in the double quotes. So this constant that has been placed within a double quotes can be treated as a string constant, and the constant that is placed inside a single quote can be treated as a character constant, because we will represent the characters there. Okay. Next, there are two simple ways to define constants in C. That is, one using the hash defined preprocessor, and another one using the const keyword, or we can say const keyword. And here comes example. Now see the first one, that is hash define a10. Means here I am defining a symbolic constant named as a and assigning a value 10 into it. So whenever I need this particular value 10, I will replace it by the named as the symbolic constant named as a. Okay, I will replace it with the symbolic constant named as a. And next case, I'm using the const keyword and declaring the particular variable named as a in an integer data type and assigning a value 10 into it. So I am declaring the first one with the help of a hash defined preprocessor directive, and the second case I am defining a constant with the help of const keyword. Then next we will come up to the another category of token, that is strings. Strings is refers to as a sequence of characters that is enclosed in the double quotes, and a string is always represented as an array of characters. See, array is called as a homogeneous data structure. It will data structures is used to arrange the data, and array is one called as a homogeneous data structure. So usually we represent string in an array, and generally the end of the string is represented by the null character, that is /0. So the compiler can understand the end of the string from this indication /0. Then the size of the string is the number of characters that the particular string contains. Okay. This is an example of the string declaration. Here I have an array with the 6 locations, and I am initializing a string into it. See, I am declaring a string in the data type named as character. That's why char is being present here. So this is how it will be represented, like this. Nice. After this NICE, you can see /0, that is the end of the string. Another representations is, in this case, the size of the array will be determined automatically based on the number of elements initialized. In the second case, you can see that I have not specified the size of the array. It will get automatically determined based on the number of elements initialized. So these are the two representations of the string. These are the two declarations with initializations of the string. String is another token. Then you can see a lot of special symbols used in the C programming. You can see curly braces, it will be the square brackets, or the brackets will be there, colons will be there, quotation marks will be there, semicolons will be there, parentheses will be there. The braces will stand for the opening of a function and also the closing of a function. It's generally used for the function opening and closing, and there are also other cases too. And the brackets is used to indicate the array, the representations of the array, or the subscript of an array. We use the brackets, and you can see quotation mark definitely we say that inside the double quotes we will represent the string, and the semicolon is used to in C programming to indicate the end of a particular statement, and the parenthesis is used to indicate the function. Okay, so these are few special symbols used in the C programming. We can see a lot of symbols. These are the few major ones. Okay, this is another token, and the next comes important token category, that is operators. These are the major operators used in the C programming. Arithmetic operators is there, relational operator is there, logical operator is there, assignment is there, increment and decrement operator, conditional operators, bitwise operators, and special operators. We can move on to these particular categories. The first one is arithmetic operators. As we already know from the childhood itself, we know these operations, right? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulus. Here's an extra operation is there, that is a modular division. So addition, we are adding two values. Subtractions, we are subtracting two values. So with the example, we will have a more idea about it. Here I have declared two variables, a and b, capital letter A and B, and initialize a with the value 20 and initialize b with the value 10. And here you can see that a plus b. So a plus b means a and b stands for the operand, plus is the operator. So with the help of operator, I'm adding the value present in these two variables and adding the value present in the two operands and getting the final result. So this is examples of addition using the two variables a and b, a plus b, a minus b. So 20 plus 10 means 30, 20 minus 10 means 10, 20 into, that is multiplying 20 into 10, we can get 200. 20 divided by 10 means the result will be 2, and 20 modulo 10 means the remainder. We will get the remainder using the modular division, that is 0. So this is how the arithmetic operators works. Next comes up to the relational operator. So here actually we are making the comparison. We are comparing the values. We are comparing two values present. Okay, that's why we are using the relational operators. So these are the few relational operators, that is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, then equal to, and is not equal to. We often compare the two quantities and depending on their relations take certain decisions. So that's why we are using these relational operators. So we can take another example. Same, we are assigning a and b two variables. We are initializing a with the value 20, b with the value 10, and we are making comparisons, right? In the first case, we are comparing that 20 less than or equal to 10, whether the condition or the statement is true or false. It is definitely false because 20 is greater than 10. So the first conditions will be false. In the second case, a greater than or equal to b. So 20 greater than or equal to 10. So 20 is greater than 10. So we can say that the condition is true. So we are relating the values or making comparison of the values between the two operands or between the two variables. So for that purpose, we are using the relational operators. So relational expressions are used in decision statements such as if, while, to decide the course of action of a running program. So there comes importance of the relational operators. Then comes up to the logical operators. These are the main logical operators used in the C programming: logical and, logical or, and logical not. Logical operators and or are used when we want to test more than one conditions and make decisions, right? Okay, if we want to enter into particular loop or into the particular block of statements with the help of checking certain conditions, if we want to satisfy two conditions, we definitely use a logical and operators. If we want to satisfy any of the two conditions, that is whether we want to satisfy one or we want to satisfy the second conditions, in this case we can use a logical or operator. So in these cases we use a logical operators like logical and, logical or, and logical not. Next comes up to the common operator, that is assignment operators. It is used to assign the result of an expression. We already seen that int a equal to 10 means we are assigning a value 10 into the variable named as a, right? So equal to is called as a simple assignment operator. So b equal to b plus 1 means we are incrementing the variable b with 1 and assigning to the variable named as b. So it is called as a simple assignment operators. In another case, we can see shorthand assignment operators. So what they call b plus equal to 1 means b is equal to b plus 1. So we are representing b is equal to b plus 1 in another form, that is b plus equal to 1. B minus equal to 1 means b equal to b minus 1. B star equal to 1 means b is equal to b star 1. Okay, so that kind of assignment operations is called as a shorthand assignment operator. Next comes up to the incrementing or decrementing operator. Generally we use these particular kind of operators in the case of loop or when we need to increment or decrement the values, and we use these particular operators in case of arrays, etc. So plus plus means increment, it will add 1 to the operand. Minus minus means decrement, it will subtract 1 from the operand. And incrementing or decrementing operators can be again divided into two, that is a post increment, pre increment, likewise post decrements and pre decrements. So these are the two sections of incrementing and decrementing operators, actually adding some values or subtracting some values from the operands. Okay. Next comes up to the conditional operators. It is similar to the control structures, that is it is also known as a ternary operator. Here comes the syntax. The first one will be an expression. If the expression is true, then expression 2 will be executed. If the expression is false, then expression 3 will be executed. It is similar to an if-else statements. If a particular expressions in that particular block is true, then we can say that expression 2 is executed, and if it is false, then expression 3 is executed. So it is similar to control structures working. So it is called a conditional operators is called as a ternary operator. So here comes example and syntax of the conditional operators. And the next operator is the bitwise operators. It will perform the manipulations of data at the bit level, that is generally in binary languages we use 100111 formats. So we have to perform the bitwise AND operations, bitwise OR operations, or we have to shift the bits, shift the values of bit, or we have to change the locations of the bit. So in this case we use a shift left, shift right, etc. So these are the basic bitwise operations used in the programming language named as C. And last but not the least, we can say that we are using some special operators too, and these are few major special operators. The first one is the address operators. It is used to get the address of the variables, and next comes the asterisk symbol. It is used to as a pointer to a variable, so used to point to a particular memory location. So in order to indicate that the particular variable is a pointer, we need the help of this particular operator. And we are using the member selection operator. Generally we use it in the case of structures programming or the structure concepts. And another one is the size of operators. It will give the size of the particular variable. So these are some few major operators used in the C programming. So these are the tokens. These are the important tokens used in the programming language named as C. Friends, I hope you got an idea about tokens, the basic idea about tokens, because we need more discussion about the operators, special symbols, etc. We will discuss in the future videos. So from this video, I hope that you will have a basic understanding about the topic. So if you feel worth watching this video, please subscribe, share and like. Thank you and see you all in the next video.